Hello everybody. So for this video, I wanted to have a look at the Schedule 1A additional deductions. And specifically, we're going to be looking at the enhanced deduction for seniors. So these are individuals who are age 65 or older. So I've got a couple of videos already up on the Schedule 1A, some different parts, but again, this one we're going to be looking at specifically Part 5, the new enhanced deduction for seniors, which is a $6,000 additional deduction per person. So we've got the 1A in front of us. We'll look at this. It is part of the full return as well. So we'll get a look at how the deduction flows through back to page 2 of the 1040. And then I do have some notes here, just some background on the standard deduction and then the additional deduction that is available in 2025. So if we just start with a bit of background on the standard deduction, because this is kind of relevant. Although they're separate calculations, there have been these additional deductions for seniors for quite some time. So if we look at the 2024 tax year, for example, you had the standard deductions depending on your filing status. And then if you were age 65 or older and or you were also blind, you got an additional standard deduction per person, right? And then so the same thing happens for 2025 as well. In 2025, the standard deduction for, let's say, a married filing joint couple is $31,500. And if both individuals are 65 or older, they get an additional $1,600 per person. So in the example we're going to look at, we have two individuals that are married. They're over 65. So they get the standard deduction of $31,500 plus an extra $3,200 because they get $1,600 per person. And that's the fact pattern we're going to be looking at now. And it's important to remember that all of these deductions are in addition to this additional enhanced deduction. Okay, so now if we look at the enhanced deduction for 2025. So this is starting with the 2025 tax year. So these are returns that are filed now in 2026 or perhaps at a later date, if you file late. And this was part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, the OBBA, that was filed or passed rather back in July 2025. So we've got the deduction here. It is in addition to that increased standard deduction, so what we just talked about on the last slide. So if you're filing, you get this whether you're claiming the standard deduction or itemized deductions. So if you're claiming the standard deduction and you're over 65, go ahead and claim that additional deduction that's part of the standard. And then you can also move on and potentially claim this additional $6,000 deduction per individual. Now, married couples, really important to remember here, married couples, if you're going to claim or if you want to claim this extra $6K, you've got to file a joint return. You are not eligible to do this if you're married filing separate taxpayers. And then there are phase outs like anything else, right? So the deduction is going to be phased out if your modified AGI exceeds $75,000 or $150,000 if you're doing a married filing joint return. Now, what are some of the basic requirements here? Well, your birth date obviously is really important, right? You have to be 65 or older to be able to claim this. And you need a valid Social Security number, right? So valid Social Security number means not an ITIN. It has to be an SSN that's valid for employment purposes, and it's got to be issued before the due date of your return. For most taxpayers that are over 65, I can't imagine that's going to be an issue, but you never know, right? The rules are rules. And again, like we noted earlier, married taxpayers got to file a joint return. Married filing separate is not going to be allowed. And so how does this get reported? Well, it's going to go on Schedule 1A. So Schedule 1A is this new schedule that was added for 2025. And this was added to basically complement Schedule 1, where we report some adjustments to income. And so it includes items like the no tax on tips. You've got the section for no tax on overtime, no tax on car loan interest. And then lastly, in Part 5, which is what we're working with here, we've got the Part 5 enhanced deduction for seniors. All right, so if we start with page 1 of the return, because we're going to need to first figure out our adjusted gross income and then our modified AGI. So in this fact pattern, we've got John and Jane Smith, married taxpayers living in Florida. And we can see here in their income section that they're retired, right? So we don't have any line 1 items for earned compensation. What we can see down here is in the investment income and retirement income section, they have some interest, some dividend income. They've got some pension and annuity payouts on line 5A and some Social Security benefits on line 6A. So that all seems normal. A little bit of capital gain income there. And so now we're looking at line 11A. Their adjusted gross income is $88,803. And then moving on to the page 2, we can see on line 12D, they've indicated that both of them were born before January 2nd, 1961. All right. So now that we've got the AGI, we can move back to Schedule 1A and figure out how much of an additional deduction they get. Actually, let me move back really quickly. We'll just touch on the standard deduction before we get into that. So we can see here that on line 12E, the standard deduction, you can see there they've got their $34,700. So what they did, they claimed to the $31,005 for a married filing joint return, and then they got an extra $1,600 each. So the total standard deduction for them is that $34,700 number, and that's what we can see up here on line 12E. Okay, now on to the additional deduction. So in part 1, you've got to complete this to figure out what your modified AGI is. So the adjusted gross income coming through from page 1 there is the 8803 number. And then there are some potential adjustments if any of these apply, right? So if you're claiming the foreign earned income exclusion, for example, on the 2555, you might have to do this adjustment. But in our case here, none of these apply. They're not resident of Puerto Rico, American Samoa, or anything like that. So lines 2A through 2D have no adjustment. So our modified AGI is simply our adjusted gross income. All right. So if we move down to part 5, we've got the enhanced deduction for seniors. So line 31, we're entering the amount from line 3. So that's line 3 up above. Our modified AGI is 8803. And this is where the initial phase out comes into play, right? So you've got to figure if your income is above the certain threshold, you have to reduce the amount of your additional deduction. And could be potentially reduced to 0 if your income is arguably too high, right, for this deduction. So we've got the 8803. We've entered $150,000 because we are doing a married filing joint return. And then line 33 asks us to subtract 32 from 31. And if it's 0 or less, we would simply enter $6,000 on line 35. And so that's what we've done here. So we've got a negative 61,197. So in other words, our income does not exceed the relevant threshold. So there's no phase out for us. So we leave line 34 blank, and then we go down to line 35, and we enter the $6,000 there. Right, so asks us to subtract line 34 from 6, and we're just left with 6, right? So that's what we're doing here math-wise. Now, line 36A and B. So if you have a valid SSN and were born before January 2nd, 1961, enter the amount from line 35. So we've entered $6,000 there because that applies to us. If we are married filing joint return, and our spouse has a valid SSN and was also born before 1961, enter the amount from line 35. So we've got a married filing joint return. Both taxpayers here, both spouses, meet that age requirement and have a valid SSN. And so we've got 2 entries for $6,000 here. And line 37, the enhanced deduction, the total is going to be a combination of line 36 and 36A and 36B. So we've got $12,000. So good thing from the One Big Beautiful Bill for seniors is certainly the additional $12,000 deduction. And again, this can be done whether you're claiming the standard deduction or itemizing, right, which is a good thing. So it's available to virtually everybody. So once we have the $12,000 figure there, we go down to part 6 and we add up all the additional deductions that might have been reported on this form. In our case, it's just the enhanced deduction, so we're just got the $12,000. But if for some reason, well, not for some reason, but if you're also doing, the no tax on car loan interest, or if they're working still and, they have a tipped type of employment or overtime, then you would fill those out as well. But in our case here, this fact pattern, these 2 individuals are retired, so they're just living off their investment income and their retirement pensions. So we've got the $12,000 figure here, and now we go back to page form 1040, page 2, and line 13B. So we've got our 12K figure. Go back up to page 2, and we can see here line 13B, additional deductions pulling through from Schedule 1A, line 38. There's our $12,000 figure. So now all the deductions that we have here, we've got the 34.7 standard plus the 12,000 additional, gives us total deductions of 46,700. So we can subtract that from our adjusted gross income, and we're left with taxable income of $42,103. And then the rest of the return is calculated as you normally would. Look at the tax tables, the qualified dividend and long-term capital gain worksheet if you have investment income, and figure out the amount of tax you've got there. But in our case here, right, a pretty good result for taxpayers in that age bracket, right? You are going to get an additional 6K deduction per person, which is certainly going to help out, you know, a fair amount, at least a couple $100 worth on your return. All right, so that covers it for this video. I hope that was helpful. Any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I try to get to as many of those as I can. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you.